coming up from the Northeast Live Studios in Guwahati. Northeast Tonight with Wasbir Hussain.
Hello and welcome to Northeast Tonight, the show that decodes the region. Suddenly, the BJP has a new chief minister in Tripura with the replacement of Biplab Kr Deb by Mr. Manik Saha. This, of course, is the BJP's internal matter. But many are questioning the timing of this change when state assembly elections are due in just about 8 months' time. Why has the BJP decided to put up a new face in Tripura ahead of the polls? BJP's rivals like the Trinamool or even the Tripura Motha says the party was unsure about its prospects with the rise of newer political forces in the state. But is this really the case? Will a party like the BJP that is firmly poised in Tripura, despite the internal dissension over the leadership issue, be worried to the extent that it would change the chief minister at the fag end of his tenure? Is attempts by Trinamool or Tripura Motha to assume center stage anything to do with the change? Well, to discuss the latest political situation in Tripura, I am joined from Agartala by Mr. Jishnu Deb Verma, BJP leader and Deputy Chief Minister of Tripura. Also in Agartala, I have IPFT leader Mewar Kumar Jamatia. He was a minister until recently. Now again, I have former MP and CPIM State Secretary Jitendra Chaudhary, who is likely to join me from Agartala, and I am also supposed to have Tripura Motha spokesman Anthony Deb Burma. And of course, joining me live from Agartala is senior BJP leader and party MLA, Dr. Dilip Das. They are also joining me from Agartala. Also with me is well-known commentator and senior journalist Sajjad Ali, and I'm also likely to be joined from the newsroom by our news editor Nabaran Goswami. But before we begin the discussion, let me go straight to Mr. Jishnu Deb Burma, senior BJP leader, the Deputy Chief Minister of Tripura, joining me from Agartala. Mr. Jishnu Deb Burma, welcome to Northeast Tonight. You see, a lot of people are now asking one question about the big political development in Tripura, the change of leadership in your party in the state when only 8 months are left for the election. How do you look at it, Mr. Jishnu Deb Burma?
See, Wasbir, this has become almost a standard question asked by all journalists. The thing is that the central leadership takes a decision in BJP, considering all the facts that the election is also nearby. So after considering all facts, they have come to this decision, which we accept as it is.
Right. Considering the fact that the BJP was able to oust the CPM-led left front from power after 25 long years, do you think this election will be far easier for you, the coming elections that is?
Well, we did that in 2018 and we'll do it again. I don't think so. But we never take any election as a cakewalk. For BJP, every election is a serious election. Maybe panchayat elections, maybe municipal elections, or assembly elections, parliament elections, by-elections. All elections are never taken as cakewalks in BJP. We always put our best 100% in every election.
Right. You are saying, Mr. Jishnu Deb Burma, that the BJP doesn't take any election, doesn't consider to be a cakewalk at all. All elections are serious. But this time round, there are two new political parties that are trying to make inroads in Tripura. That is the Trinamool Congress and the other is, of course, the Tripura Motha. More than the Congress, Do you think these are going to be your main rivals in the coming elections in 2023?
See, first speaking of Trinamool Congress, we saw them just before the municipal elections, but where they have vanished now, I don't know. They said khela hobe, and what khela, I don't know, but they have vanished, I think, as far as I know, from the scene of Tripura after the municipal elections. As for Motha, it's a regional party, and we are a national party, so where is the competition there?
So, are you not taking the two new political parties seriously, Trinamool and Tripura Motha?
See, we take everything seriously. It's not that. It's just the political analysis that I did, since you asked me a question, that Motha is a regional party. It has a limited appeal. And Trinamool was seen before the municipal elections, a lot of noise, sound and fury signifying nothing. And they have not come back as yet.
You know, there was some dissension within the BJP in the last 1 or 2 years that led to the exit of senior people like Sudeep Roy Burman and 2 others. Now, during the last BJP Legislature Party meeting a few days ago, that met in Agartala to choose a new leader, there also we saw a senior minister very agitated, trying to break a chair and so on. Now, do you think this is common in any political party? How do you look at it?
As for dissensions, I think as for switching parties, 2 have gone to Congress and 1 has gone to Trinamool from the general seats. And as for the minister, showing his emotions, I think it was not very serious, as it was focused by all the media all over India. And today he is again a minister, and we have understood his emotions and his feelings. That is all. We are a family and we understand the feelings and emotions of people. It is not a party without emotions or feelings.
Right. In 2018, you had to tackle the CPM-led left front, but this time there are people coming from outside, like leaders from the TMC are coming from West Bengal, coming from Assam. Then there is, of course, the Tripura Motha, which you described as a regional party with limited appeal. Do you think your election strategy will be slightly different than it was in 2018?
See, every election a new strategy has to be made. What strategy we had in 18 cannot work in 23. What we have in 23 cannot work in 28. So political is a dynamic, activity. It changes every day almost, and every political party has to, adapt to this change dynamics of politics, and we will do that.
Right. Now, coming to Tripura Motha is a tribal-based political party, and their slogan is Greater Tripura Land. Now, you had a political ally, or you have a political ally, that is the IPFT, and unfortunately the IPFT has now split, and their slogan, they split a couple of days ago. Mr. Mebar Kumar Jamatia is there. I will take this question to him, but Mr. Jishnu Dev Burma, how do you think that is going to impact? Because there are allegations saying that one section of the IPFT wants to get merged with the Tripura Motha and corner a couple of seats in tribal areas, and if that happens, it could well change the arithmetic.
Why they split and when they split is their internal party matter. As far as I know, we still have 2 ministers in our cabinet from the IPFT. We honor our allies. We allied with them in 18, and till now the alliance is going on. And what is the internal matter, I would not like to comment how they split and why they split. And we will, as I told you, politics is a very dynamic matter. And it is dynamic, it is not static. So let us see what happens further, and we will strategize accordingly.
Right. No, but honestly speaking, would you have liked the IPFT to at least stay united, because that is also a tribal-based party, and Tripura Motha is trying to corner the same vote bank?
See, they were our alliance partners. We wish them all the best, and it would have been better. But then it is their party internal matter. As I said, I wouldn't like to comment on it. But they are our 5 or 6 MLAs who are, with us till now, with the IPFT, and we have inducted 2 ministers just now also. One is NC Debbarma, one is Prem Kumar Riyang, a new minister, a young minister. And the alliance goes on. The alliance goes on, despite what happens in the party.
Right. Now, I'll not take much of your time. Some of the TMC leaders are saying that the BJP was forced to change the face or leadership as they were worried about the TMC emerging as one of the potent forces in the state. This is what the TMC is claiming.
Trinamool Congress, we can at least change face. They have only one face. We are a national party, we can change face. Trinamool has only one face. The problem is that. And we are a cadre-based party, and our cadres will go by the central decision. And no matter what the Trinamool says, what is their presence in Tripura, they should clarify that actually first.
Now, in the coming elections, who do you think will be your main rival? Because you have the CPIM, you have the Congress, and of course the TMC and the Tripura Motha.
See, Wasbir, we don't think of rivals. We think of winning. That is the main thing. No matter who the rival is, BJP must win. This is what the attitude of the BJP has been all throughout India and so in Tripura. No matter who the rival is of no consequence whatsoever. We are dependent on our cadres and our booth level workers, our Prishta Pramukhs who look after our voters. And we have done a lot of work in the last 4 years. And no matter what the rival is, BJP should win. This is where we focus on.
Absolutely, BJP must win. That is what is your focus. Finally, what would be your main slogan with which you will be going to the elections this time?
We are already having beneficiary meeting today. I just attended one, and we have worked for the people. And many people have said that BJP will not be able to give account of what they've done. And we are doing it before our term. We are giving correct accounts of what we have done in the last 4 years in front of the people. All the ministers are going in front of the people and telling them what we have done in the 4 years. That difficult years also because of pandemic, what we have done. That is what BJP is. We always work on a positive note and never on a negative note, who the rival will be or what will be. We believe in the work we do. And what we have done is good. We believe that completely. And on that, we will go to the elections.
Right. Mr. Jishnu Debbarma, the Deputy Chief Minister of Tripura, thank you very much indeed for joining me tonight on this show.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Well, that was the Deputy Chief Minister and Senior BJP Leader of Tripura, Mr. Jishnu Debbarma, absolutely confident about the BJP and not really bothered about the emergence of the two new political forces in the state, that is the Trinamool Congress and the IPFT. Let's begin the discussions. Let me go to my guests on the show. I will come to Mr. Dilip Das slightly later, but let me first go to Mr. Mevar Kumar Jamatia, leader of the IPFT. Mr. Mevar Kumar Jamatia, welcome to this show. This is the first time that you are joining me on Northeast Tonight. Welcome, first of all. And thank you for joining me on an evening where the entire Agartala is flooded by rainwater. So, under difficult circumstances, you are joining me. Welcome, Mr. Jamatia. Okay, Mr. Jamatia cannot hear me. Let me quickly turn to Dr. Dilip Das, Senior BJP Leader and BJP MLA. Mr. Dilip Das, you must have heard the Deputy Chief Minister, Mr. Jishnu Debbarma, basically saying that you are not really worried, because a lot of people would like to asking the same question again and again and again. Why the change in leadership when only 8 months are left for the elections?
As Sri Jishnu Debbarma has answered,
Okay, so carry on. I can hear you. Yes, please carry on, Mr. Das.
no, as you have heard that Mr. Jishnu Debbarma has very clearly shows his confidence regarding win in 2023. And I agree with his all the discussion which have made. What other question you want to say?
No, I was asking that, the Trinamool Congress as well as the Tripura Motha, they have commented on the change in leadership. Every political party, all your entire opposition in Tripura are commenting. They are asking the question, why should the BJP change the leader? Are they little worried this time to face the elections in 2023?
No, it should not be their headache to consider why the party has changed its face. First of all, Mr. Biplab Kr Deb, the ex-chief minister, is a successful chief minister, and he has, with his ministry, done so much work that if we organize an election right now, we will easily win the election. But now one chief minister who is already in chair and administrative head, and if the Biplab Deb is a very dynamic leader who can move from one corner of the state to the other corner of the state, and he has a very good connection with the people. So I think, because that is not explained to me also, we only believe that what is the decision has been taken by our High Command. So Prime Minister Sri Modi, Mr. Amit Shah, and our party president and other leaders, we just follow their leaders, because we have a research team. If they think that this change is necessary, so accordingly they have made it, and nobody asked any question from our party why this change has been made. So if the political party, other political party, as you have mentioned, it's their thinking, but we are not supposed to answer their question. It is our strategy.
But it has nothing to do, your change in leadership, you are saying, Dr. Das, has nothing to do with the entry of Trinamool into Tripura, or with the sudden, momentum that Tripura Motha is gaining over their demand for a greater Tripura land and after winning the ADC elections. It's nothing to do with that. That's what you are saying, Dr. Das.
Now, first of all, Trinamool Congress was tried thrice in this state. Every time it was a failure. So we do not consider there is any footing of the Trinamool Congress. So regarding the Tripura Motha, it was an emotionally built party, and so far as the Greater Tripura land is concerned, I think the leadership is not clear about what is the Greater Tripura land. Moreover, in the population dynamics, 70% of the population in the state is Bengali, and 30% is also the tribals. So how and why he is uttering this? It is an emotional and sentimental issue, and through emotion and sentiment, none can play. There may be some positive results during the ADC election, but BJP party placed 11 candidates, out of which we have won 10 seats. So we have not lost any seat. So we don't, Tripura Motha, definitely we take in the party seriously, because tribal people are emotionally connected, and because he was a continuation of the princeship, he might have some connection, and the tribal people had some regard and connection with the princess.
Right.
So that may affect, but in political ground, that do not work.
Okay, Dr. Das, just hold on. I will come back to you. Let me turn to Mr. Mewar Kumar Jamatia, leader of the IPFT. Mr. Mewar Kumar Jamatia, first of all, let me welcome you to the show, and let me take this opportunity first to clear the air. Would you like to clear the air? Who is the president of IPTF right now? Because there is a lot of confusion, whether it is Mr. N.C. Deb Barma, whether it is you, and what was the main reason why the party split?
First of all, I thank you, NETV, Notice Live. And, as part of the constitution of our party, we have every 3 years, we have a conference, state conference, and we change the leadership if necessary. So as part of our bylaw, we have conducted the conference 2nd and 3rd April. And there we have an election, and N.C. Deb Barma and me have contested, and all the NCC member is entitled to cast the vote. So accordingly, we have a process of election. We have constituted 3-member election commission among the senior leader. Then there is a free and fair election in the party. Then accordingly, after I have got the majority vote, more than half of him. And see, I don't blame NC Debarma, but people have realized, because for the last 4 years, NC Debarma have no activities, no performance in the government as well as in the party. So by realizing the fact, people have voted me. Because last 4 years, I worked so hard. I worked so hard in the government as well as in the party. People know very well.
Now,
therefore,
yeah. Now, will you admit that there has been a split in the IPFT? Has the IPFT split?
Of course, not exactly right now. We are trying to do something because as per the rule, as per constitution, I was elected. And after more than 1 month, suddenly he called a extended meeting, so-called extended conference. So there is no ballot actually.
No, but
so I am consult.
Yeah, but I am also joined by Mr. Jitendra Chaudhary, CPM leader and former MP. I am coming to you, Mr. Chaudhary, in a minute. But Mr. Jamatia, the people are confused. Mr. NC Debarma and his colleague are now part of the Biplab Deb cabinet. You were there until recently. You are no longer a minister. So, do you consider your faction of the IPFT, which is because it is clear that the IPFT led by NC Debarma is an alliance partner of the BJP now? And do you consider yourself to be an ally of the BJP or not?
So far, till now, we're supporting BJP because I have so many followers. I have so many leaders with me, and we have a same strategy that we never criticize BJP. We try to help the government. BJP, they know it.
So you are Mr. Jamatia, you are also, although you have been stripped of your ministerial portfolio, you are no longer a minister. You have more or less split from the IPFT have more or less suffered a split, but still you are supporting the BJP, and the IPFT under the leadership of NC Debarma, of course, is an alliance partner of the BJP because he himself is a minister.
Of course, people will give the judgment because again and again I emphasize, people is the final call. So there now will face the problem because last on 16 I called a meeting and I have a lot of response.
Yeah.
And now
before
slowly and since he has no performance, he has no activities.
Right.
His age is more than now nearly 90 years.
People
are realizing.
Right. I will go to Mr. Jitendra Chaudhary, senior leader of the CPM state secretary and former MP. But one last time, before I'll come to you once again, Mr. Jamatia. Has the IPFT split or not?
Of course, right now people are confused to whom to support.
Yes.
Maybe I think after 1 or 2 months,
so
things will come.
Yeah, people are confused whom to support. That means, Mr. Mevar Jamatia, you have said more or less that the IPFT has split. One group is led by you, and the other group is led by by Mr. NC Debarma, and it is for the people to decide whom to support. That is what you were saying.
Yes, yes.
So I draw the, correct me if I am wrong, I am drawing the inference from what you said that the IPFT has split technically.
Of course, temporarily I can say.
Right.
But
So at the
in
moment,
future I cannot say.
absolutely. In the future, things may change, but at the moment, there are two factions of the IPFT. That is what Mevar Jamatia has said. That is the big breaking story as of now on Notice Tonight. I'll come back to you, Mr. Jamatia. I will also go to you, Dr. Dilip Das. Let me go to Mr. Jitendra Chaudhary. Mr. Jitendra Chaudhary, welcome to Notice Tonight. Can you hear me?
Yeah, please.
Okay. How do you see, because you were the left, the CPM-led left was in power in Tripura for 25 years. In 2018, you lost the elections to the BJP. In 2018, the BJP's face was Mr. Biplab Deb, and from the organization side, it was Mr. Sunil Deodhar, and there were a lot of other people. But from the party side, it was Mr. Biplab Deb who was the party president and so on, and then he became the chief minister. Now, 8 months before the elections, the BJP decides to change its chief minister. Yes, we all know, you and me know that it is the business of the BJP, it is their internal matter. But as one of the leading opposition party in the state, Mr. Chaudhary, how do you see this development? Why do you think the BJP changed its leader?
Yeah, good evening to everyone. I think you are seeing me, how I am sitting here in the heart of the Agartala city, in my party headquarters at Melarmat. There is no power for last couple of hours. And this is the situation today, almost in entire part of the city and almost majority part of our state. This is the state of affairs in Agartala today. After only half an hour, the rain. So this is the state of affairs of the BJP, IPFT, aligned government and their oppositions. And because of that, the BJP hierarchy, their higher-ups, they understood the situation. That's why they have compelled to change because of them and in the face of their chief minister, even just for 8 and 9 months of the election. So this is the situation. Bharatiya Janata Party and their ally, this IPFT, they have become totally bankrupt, isolated from the people. And that's why today, to divert the people's attention, they have just drama. So this is the scenario.
Okay.
Only the weekend. Enter opposition they are against this position, against this alliance.
Okay.
Because of their non-performance and for end policy.
Let me,
And
Mr. Chaudhary, let me get a reaction from Dr. Dilip Das. I'll come back to you, Mr. Chaudhary. Let me take a quick reaction from Dr. Dilip Das. Dr. Dilip Das, CPM leader Jitendra Chaudhary, he's saying that the change in leadership was a part of the BJP strategy to divert the attention because things were not going in the right direction. That is the allegation, serious allegation that CPM leader and former MP Jitendra Chaudhary is leveling on your party. Dr. Das.
Actually, they have nothing to say substantiative. They have the character of blaming the other party. I have not seen them ever to talk anything positive and in a positive direction. Just a rain in any natural calamity, it can occur anywhere in the state. And we have received the state and the city of the Agartala that from such a condition. But today there was a torrential rain and we have placed at least 20 pumps. And it will take hardly few hours or few minutes sometimes to clear the water. And their office is in such a place that it usually remains in their time also submerged in the water the total city. and they used to call it a pan,
Never
that it is
happened
the
like this.
central
You ask
depression, that's why
any
there is
person
no
in
situation
Agartala,
for draining
you
the
should
water.
test him for that.
So that is why we are trying for it, and it is not at all the fact. We do our party, and it is our strategy. It is nothing internal matter. We always consider how better we can use our potentiality or the potentiality leader, because Biplab Deb came here as the party leader, and he worked, and he also one of the factor for leading the party in 2018. He became the chief minister, and as a party leader, as a party president, he has a huge connection all over the state. Probably, it is my presumption, then party will utilize his this connection everywhere, and it is a
Right.
strategy of the party. It is nothing an internal matter.
Mr. Chaudhary-
And whenever you are going to fight any
Right.
battle, you will have to make your own strategy.
Mr.
And that's why
Chaudhary-
we have more than 18
Yes,
states.
please.
in
Yes,
this
please.
Mr. Chaudhary, BJP leader and party MLA Dr. Das is saying that you have nothing substantial to say. You cannot substantiate your charges. That's what he is saying.
Yeah, Mr. On 21st of January, on the statehood day, our Prime Minister of India, Mr. Modi, came here. And he certified Mr. Biplab Kr Deb as one of the most dynamic and successful chief minister in entire all the BJP through state. On 8 March, again, our Home Minister, Mr. Amit Saha, he visited Tripura. And again, he certified that Mr. Biplab Deb is one of the most successful chief minister. So why, without any notice, without any reason, why this successful chief minister has been replaced? Can Mr. Das, he can reply? Have the guts
Yeah,
to say,
I am coming to Mr. Jamatia,
No,
but
no,
yes,
no, please.
let Dr. Das reply. Let Dr. Das reply.
no, one chief minister,
Yes.
Yeah,
he was in the
right.
51.
Mr. Chaudhary, I got the sense. I got the
The
sense.
people want to know.
Right. Please allow Mr. Chaudhary. Please allow Mr. Das, Dr. Das to reply. Dr. Das, basically, Mr. Chaudhary is saying that when the Prime Minister only recently certified, has said that Biplab Deb is one of the dynamic chief ministers. He's doing a great job. Mr. Chaudhary is asking, in that case, why was he shifted out?
Because of their,
Actually,
because under the leadership of this government, state, it has been
whether I will speak or Mr. Chaudhary will speak.
No,
25 years.
Yeah, Mr. Chaudhary, let Dr. Das reply, please. Let Dr. Das reply. Yes, please listen to Dr. Das. Yes, Dr. Das.
Please.
Thank you.
It is one of the character of these people, because when it is my turn, I wanted to speak something, and when he was talking, none of us had interrupted him. So this is a character what they usually say. First of all, whether who will be our chief minister, who will be our party president, it is a matter of BJP. Why they are have so much of headache regarding why we have changed our leadership? I said that it is the party leadership at the center, particularly Amit Saha ji, Prime Minister Modi and Nadda ji, and we have also party leaders who are running the party. Wherever necessary, whenever necessary, we change our strategy, and the ultimate result will prove it where the Communist Party stands. And this time we expect that we will make better result than what we have done earlier. And that is one of the factors why the Biplab Deb is a young, he is very dynamic. He is even then when he was shifted from this chief ministership, he is moving everywhere, and you can see that wherever he is giving, there is a huge gathering. So he is very much connected with the people. So probably it is my presumption because the party do not give us any explanation. They just say that this is the decision central leadership came and they have made this decision. We agreed. There was no recension. So this is the one of the best criteria that there was no recension. All the MLAs agreed and we have accepted that he is working. Then why the CPM party or the Communist Party have headache regarding? Let them see their own home. Let them be prepared for the next election.
Right. let me turn to Mr. Jamatia once again. Mr. Jamatia, I mean, the allegation was that the NC Deb Burma said that you were working against the party interest, against the interest of the coalition, and that you are trying to merge yourself with the Tripura Motha. Because why I am bringing you this issue? Because, a lot of people are leveling this allegation, okay, Tripura Motha was gaining momentum, they had won the ADC elections, and therefore, the BJP was forced to change the face. But BJP leaders on the show, whether it was Mr. Jishnu Deb Burma or Dr. Dilip Das, they have already clarified that that was not the case at all. Now, coming back to you, the NC Deb Burma has said that you are trying to merge the IPFT with Tripura Motha, and that is that you are indulging in anti-party activities.
December, there is two agreements signed by NC Deb Burma during his regime. Even in December, before going to Delhi,
Yeah.
there is a MAO. There is an understanding with Motha and IPFT, and it is signed by NC Deb Burma himself. There is I have already put in the domain in the Facebook and the WhatsApp. It is agreed by NC Deb Burma himself during his time. And I don't understand. See, our main target, our main aim and object is to achieve our demand, which we raise statehood demand. Article 2 and 3 of Indian Constitution, which we call Tripura land demand.
So,
The Tripura land demand is agreed.
so
And it is very easy to understand.
yeah, so
Motha also
let me,
demanded the same demand.
Mr. Jamatia, let me simplify. I will go once again to Mr. Jitendra Chaudhary and Dr. Dilip Das, but Mr. Jamatia, let me clarify. Let me try to understand, and simplify things a little bit. You are saying that IPFT had also had a resolution demanding a greater Tripura land, and therefore your demand and the demand of the Tripura Motha are similar, and therefore are you saying that there is therefore a possibility, there is therefore every reason for these two parties to work together? Are you thinking of working together with the Tripura Motha?
That is what the process is going on. This process is, I just follow up. This process is for the last 1 year. NC Deb Burma himself met several times with our Bobagra product, and it is initiated by him only. Therefore, I fail to understand this man. I don't know he forget or not, because I have a document. All people know it. So why he deny? I don't know. That is what I want to ask the
So
question to him.
this is a Mr. Mevar Kumar Jamatia, this is a very big statement you are making. You are saying that Mr. NC Deb Burma had himself met the Tripura Motha chief, Mr. Pradyut Deb Burma, and he was a party to this idea of a greater Tripura land. So you are surprised now as to why he is denying. That's what you are saying.
Yes, very much. Because there are two joint agreements between Pradyut Maharaj and NC Deb Burma. And in the last December, there's an agreement signed by Vikarankol and NC Deb Burma. So this is why I want to explain.
No, what agreement? What agreement is this? Is it an agreement to merge the two parties? Was it an agreement for merger of the two parties at some point of time?
Yes. There's an agreement. There's a lot of point is there. After Delhi Abhijan, IPFT and Motha will have a dialogue, and will have will contest with a single entity. So that way there is clearly mentioned in the Mao. So I don't understand why he's denying the fact. That's what I want to tell the people. It is not initiated by me. It is initiated by himself. That's why
Okay,
people are
very
confused
big
now.
story. Very big story that this Mewar Kumar Jamatia is making a claim, sensational claim, that NC Deb Burma and Tripura Motha chief Pradyut Deb Burman, the two parties have already signed an agreement that they would merge at some point of time. So you are saying with full responsibility, isn't it, Mr. Jamatia? Are you saying
Yes,
this?
yes. I have a document also. I have a Mao signed with me. I can show you.
Okay, I can see. Is that Anthony Deb Burma? Is this?
Mr. Anchor,
Is this Anthony Deb Burma on the show? I'm asking my producers. Okay, I can't hear it. Mr. Anthony Deb Burma, can you hear me? And
Hello.
Anthony Deb Burma, can you hear me?
I can hear you, but
Okay.
my
Now,
headphone is
now,
your.
now, please bear with me, Dr. Dilip Das. I'll take your reaction and kindly give me one more minute, Mr. Jitendra Chaudhary. I have Anthony Deb Burma of the Tripura Motha. Anthony, I have Mewar Kumar Jamatia live on the show. Mewar Kumar Jamatia is saying that NC Deb Burma had signed an agreement with Tripura Motha chief that the two parties, that is the IPFT and Tripura Motha, will merge at some point of time. Can you confirm this development?
See, the development is like it has to come from their end. There are several kind of agreement has been made, but this agreement hasn't been fulfilled. So until and unless they come into a platform, then only we can believe. Otherwise, it is very difficult and it is very uncertain. But for us, Tripura Motha, we are always wanting the unity among the regional political party and among the indigenous people. And we welcome everyone to come into platform. Therefore, this Tripura Motha is particularly being made, and therefore we welcome everyone to come to Tripura Motha because
Right.
we are
You
fighting
know,
not
and-
only for the party, but we are fighting for the cause of the indigenous people.
Right. Anthony Deb Burma, your party chief, Mr. Pradyut Deb Burman, has said repeatedly that the question of an alliance with another political party will come provided that party gives it in writing that they support your demand for a greater Tripura land, isn't it?
Yes.
Now, in view of this, Mr. Mewar Kumar Jamatia, Mr. Jamatia, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
Mr. Jamatia,
Yeah.
Mr. Anthony Deb Burma of the Tripura Motha is saying that you have to give it in writing. He's saying that you have to give it in writing. If you give it in writing, then only they are going to take it as a concrete proposal. Now, you are saying that an agreement has already been signed.
Yes. I have got agreement paper.
So,
We have agreed, both parties have agreed. We also believe greater Tripura land, and both also believe Tripura land demand. So we are same demand.
right. Now, one clear question
They
before
do-
I go. One clear question before I go to my other panelist, Mr. Jamatia. Now, you have said that temporarily, as of today, the IPFT has split. That you have confirmed today. What will happen in the future, you don't know. That is very correct. Now, even if
Yes.
Mr. NC Deb Burma is not willing to join Tripura Motha, can you say that your faction of the IPFT will go and is ready to join Tripura Motha? Can you say that today?
That is people will take the call, because I always believe people call. If majority people have with me, then of course it is very easy to have a together. It depends on the people. Going to the people and get their opinion, then all I will decide.
Right. People will take the call. Dr. Dilip Das. Dr. Dilip Das, I'm coming to you, Anthony. Dr. Dilip Das, this is a very interesting situation you are poised because your alliance partner, because Mr. Mevar Kumar Jamatia has also said on this program that he may have differences with NC Dev Burma. He may be actually heading in another faction of the IPFT, but he also supports your party, that is the BJP. Now, don't you think that you are in some kind of a difficult situation because at the same time, Mr. Mevar Jamatia is saying that NC Dev Burma, who is your minister, has already signed an agreement. He is flashing the agreement on this show. He is showing the agreement paper. Do you think that is a bit of a problem for the BJP now, in a bit of a sticky situation?
I don't think it is at all a problem because we never conceived the idea of Greater Tripura land, nor we agreed for it. So one of the fraction of the IPFT talking like this, but our agenda, those we only believe on development, and after coming in power, we have made maximum development in the hill areas. So we are not concerned about what is going on the internal fight of the IPFT. Our agenda and our initial agreement with the IPFT stands still. So we are working on our formula and we don't want to say anything on this inner struggle of IPFT.
Your initial agreement, the BJP's initial agreement with the IPFT was that they will not raise the demand for a Greater Tripura land. Is that so?
It has never been asked. They made their demand, but we never considered that idea. We are working, we have made some formulas for the development of the ADC, and so we are working on that. And if you come, if you visit, you can find what is going on. There are only 3 Navodaya Vidyalaya in ADC area. Now we have developed 18 Navodaya Vidyalaya with an immense amount of fund is being utilized for the ADC development. So whatever the development is occurring, it is only by the BJP. So we believe on development and we work only on issue of development. So we didn't demarcate or distinguish these people from the tribals to the Bengalis because 70% and 30% is the population. Moreover, Greater Tripura, what does it mean? What is their dimension? What is their map? What is their conception? Just an emotional slogan will not work this time.
Now, Mevar Jamatia, you were a minister till the other day. So, how did you reconcile with this situation? Because the BJP has been very, very clear. Dr. Das has also said very clearly now that yes, the original agreement with the IPFT, where you are also a party to it very much, that you raise the demand of a Greater Tripura land or Tripura land, whatever you call it, whether it is Greater Tripura land or Tripura land. But the BJP said that their demand was there, but they did not consider it. Now, then, if that is the case, was the IPFT compromising on its demand all along?
See, I have met several times with the central leader. I met Home Minister Amit Shah, I met Nadaji, even I met the Prime Minister. And I used to discuss with them, and I played a memorandum, and I explained them, saying that our alternative is statehood demand, separate state demand. I can say last year, when around more than 20 minutes, I have face to face with Amit Shah. Here I explained him why we want statehood demand. I tried to explain him that there are a lot of illegal events take place, and in near future, when district council also will be overpopulated by the outsider. Till today, we are majority, more than 80% population, ST population, tribal population, living in this area. But in near future, we cannot protect our land, our identity, our economy, so on and so forth. Therefore, to protect our land, to protect our identity, we are asking statehood demand.
Okay. Okay.
Under Article
Under Article
2 and 3.
Under Article
2 and 3.
2 and 3.
2 and 3.
Okay. Now, protect the identity.
That listen to me.
Right.
In that very movement, Amit Shah ji did not say anything. Okay, fine. It is your demand. There is a provision you can demand. We have no problem. But we have to work together. That time he says, he don't say no or yes. So
Right.
I don't understand why state leader always. That is our problem actually. That is our problem.
Okay. Okay.
Therefore,
So that is the position. You are saying that you raised this demand to protect your identity, culture and land. You raised this demand to the BJP top brass, including the Home Minister Amit Shah, and he did not say yes or no, but invited you to work together. Now, let me turn to once again to Mr. Jitendra Chaudhary, CPM leader, former MP. Mr. Jitendra Chaudhary, you know, do you think, how do you look at this, you know, the IPFT being an ally of the BJP, the IPFT demanding a greater Tripura land, and then Mr. Mebar Jamatia was a part of the government until a few days ago, and now he is making a sensational claim that, you know, the NC Deb Burma had already signed an agreement with Tripura Mortha demanding greater Tripura land. Do you see a contradiction there? How do you see this from outside?
No, the contradiction between the two factions of IPFT is there. It is crystal clear now from the version of Mr.
Let's have
Jamatia,
Anthony
my
also
younger
on the show.
brother. Yeah, and also Mr. Anthony. But there, from the versions of the both IPFT leader and BJP leader here, what the audience heard today? IPFT during the 2018 assembly election, what was their promise to the people? What speeches they made? If BJP could be elected to the power, having their alliance, my younger brother, Mr. Mevar, and Mr. NC, they categorically stated to the people, we had the agreement with the BJP higher-ups, even BJP President Mr. Amit Shah, that within formation of the 6 months of formation of BJP IPFT alliance government, the Tripura land will be created. But unfortunately, more than 4 years last, more than 9 or 10.
Yeah, but I have a different question. I have a different question for you, Mr. Chaudhary. I have one more question for you. You know, you just heard Dr. Dilip Das saying that, you know, there were 2 to 3 or 4 Navodaya Vidyalayas in the tribal areas. Now the BJP government has increased it to 18. Now, obviously the question will be, your party and the left front was in power for 25 years. Can you say today, honestly, Mr. Chaudhary, you are a very veteran political leader from Tripura. Now, can you say honestly that your party government did enough for the welfare of the tribal people?
I can ask you, Mr. Anchor, can you please ask Mr. Das and Mr. Mevar Kumar Jamatia? During last 4 years of BJP IPFT rule, what is the state of the education today in the state? How the education is running today? They are trying to close down more than 1,000 schools. And they're talking about now setting up of 18 schools. So with the left, our emphasis was always for the universal education that we have done. But their emphasis is for the selective people. So
Right.
this is different issue. Please come to the political point. That, yes, Mr. Das has honestly stated that BJP has never considered to the demand of the Tripura land. But how this IPFT still they are remaining with the BJP then? Is it not double standard? And my younger brother, Mr. Babar, he was a minister, a tribal affairs minister, in charge of tribal affairs minister, for more than 4 years. Yes, any official bill could not be mooted in the because
Okay, Chaudhary
yeah,
Sahab,
but why he could not move a private member resolution there for the Tripura land?
right.
Why he
Absolutely.
failed to
These are valid questions. I'm running short of time. Let me quickly go once again to Anthony Deb Burma. Yes, Anthony Deb Burma, if you can hear me, the question is, do you think, because some of your party leaders said that the BJP had actually changed their leader. This is already refuted, already denied and rejected by both Mr. Jishnudev Burma as well as Dr. Dilip Das sitting on the show. But a lot of your leaders said that BJP changed its leader in Tripura because your party was gaining momentum in the state under the leadership of Pradyut Deb Burma. Anthony, if you can hear me. Okay, Anthony can't hear me. I am absolutely running out of time. Mevar Jamatia, final comments from you, and before I go to all the panelists for the final comments. Mevar Jamatia, do you think really that merger is a possibility? Do you think merger with Tripura Motha is a real possibility? 20 seconds.
I'll go to the people and I'll listen to people what people will respond. Because political leaders, we have to give importance to the people, not to the leaders. Because now they have some MLA, but this is not permanent. Our people is permanent.
Right.
So if people respond, then I'll do what they say.
Okay, you have put the ball in the people's court. I don't know whether Anthony can hear me. Okay, Anthony, can you hear me finally?
Yes,
okay.
Yes, fine.
Okay,
I can hear you.
Anthony, a lot of people said that the BJP changed its leader because they were worried about the rise of the Tripura Motha. The BJP has already denied this idea. But what do you think?
I mean, they have their right to deny, but the fact is, it is true. Everyone can see the change of the politics in the ground. Tripura Motha being one of the challenging party, and our mandate is very clear. And I have heard what our learned BJP colleagues had said, that they are against the Greater Tripura land or Tripura land. But for us, it's very clear, we are not only doing the politics just for the sake to become MLA or minister, but what we are doing is we are making a movement of the political right identity.
Yeah.
So the history itself talks about the identity and the culture of the indigenous people. But due to the demographic change of the illegal migrants, everything has been actually vanished and being taken over.
I don't have time at all. Final comments, Dr. Dilip Das. I mean, if there is a possibility of a merger, do you think, you have to maybe talk tough with your ally?
Please repeat the question.
If the Tripura Motha and the IPFT is to merge, if that is what Mevar Kumar Jamatia is saying, that NC Deb Burma is also a signatory. If that happens, then you'll have to do some tough talking to your ally.
No, actually, we do not work on assumption. Our policy is very clear. As so far as the Tripura land is concerned, I want to give a historical background. prior to British, prior to 1947, a
Time-
huge
time is
part of
over.
the Bangladesh was with Tripura.
Right.
And most of the people have shifted here. So Bengalis are not
Yeah.
the outsider. From the very beginning, the Bengalis are there. How somebody can say the Bengalis are the outsider? So that is not a fact. We have enough of strength and we have connection with our people. And this time we will increase more.
All
of our
right,
seats.
on that
And probably-
on that positive note, I'm absolutely run out of time. I'm really sorry I could not give much time to all the panelists. I thank all of you for joining me on this tonight on a day when Tripura is faced with a flash floods, and I thank all the viewers for watching the show. Good night and goodbye.